Hi, this is Axel from Global Special Rescue Solution GmbH from Germany. Today I want to speak about human errors while using descenders. At first, it's not about blaming any descender. I just want to report you some failure modes we have identified within 35 basic rope rescue courses during a lot of advanced rope rescue courses and instructor updates at international competitions and trainings. So I think a reported error helps you to prevent an error. This is my intention of this video. The ID is a very long time used device on the market. I want to start with two failure modes we have identified on the ID. Normally, the ID has a safety function against the mistake of wrong rope insertion, because if you insert the rope in the wrong way and you guide the rope to the back, this safety latch will catch the rope. So I show it to you on an open device. Normally now the safety latch gets activated and blocks the ropes, so you could not go down. The first part is, if you are a left-hander and you insert the rope in the wrong direction, you can take in slack, you can block it, and especially if you are a left-hander, you are very prone to this part, because if you use the braking hand side of the rope up to this side, and you will go down without any function. So the rope is inserted in the wrong way. This is my error, and we guide it over the side. It's just like it's mirrored, and then we have no function on the ID. The second possible human error mode we have identified on the ID is when you use it overhand, and you can insert now the rope in the wrong way. And especially if you think, okay, we will make an edge transfer or something like that, where you have to take in slack or something like that, so you don't redirect the rope for additional braking strength. You can put it in the wrong way, and it's possible to take in slack, but even with activating the blocker mechanism, the ID could show no function. The next human error I want to show you, which we have identified, was while switching from the ID to this barrel. We have been a long time user of the ID, and we had been very familiar with that. So we just took a rope coming from the anchor, going around, closing the part, having a look if this meets the structure, if this latch is closed, if the beam is closed. Could take in rope, and then it worked. You could activate it and go down for a rappel. And once a day, one person of our team was doing some rope access training for a rope rescue competition, and was ascending, and after ascending with chest ascender wanted to switch to descent with a descender, and held the rope like on an ID, because this was a person well trained on an ID, long time user of an ID. could close the device, could take in slack as well, but after switching from the ascender to the descender, there was no rappelling possible. For the rappelling, the rope got snagged in the side plates of the device and blocked our teammate. The situation was solved by switching back to ascender, ascending a little bit, and a hard movement, getting the rope back out of the system, undoing the rope from the device and going down by the ascender. So this is the human error mode we have identified at the Sparrow. Another failure mode we have identified could happen while switching from the ID to the Loftuts 2. As seen before, our standard movement of inserting the rope into the ID. So it's a little bit like that. And if you're using the Loftuts 2, we could use it in this part. And now the rope is completely in the wrong path. So under stress, you will fall back to your basic movements, and this is very important if you switch to one device from another, that you really have a detailed look how you insert the rope. In the next part, in the next seconds, we will bring you some pictures of an incident which has been happening by a training of our team, and this was a human error on inserting the rope on the Loftuts 2, and it led to a fall about 3.5 meters into an ASAP onto 130 meters. So this was exactly the same part I've shown. Also, if a rope comes from downstairs, so it's possible if you are doing just your standard movement, and especially under high stress, you are just doing this movement, because you will also always fall back to your basic movements. And now you have this misguided rope in the device, and it's without any functionality. The last failure mode for today I want to show you could occur on the D4. So if you take a rope and if you are just very fast on that movement, you also can take in slack. Now you see the device will work, so your functionality test normally shows you that it works. But on descending, it doesn't stop. So what has happened on this one? You have to bring the rope over this part. This is sometimes a little bit complicated due to its construction. So going over that part, you have your braking functionality, but if you are doing the arrow with your fast movement and closing the device. So it seems really like it's working, but it doesn't work. It's just go underneath this part in the wrong position, blocks it in your functionality test. But if you really load the rope, it got snagged between the side plates and you just slide down. Okay, so this was my report about some human error modes we have identified during a lot of training, during a lot of operations. Again, it's not to blame about any device. Now, how to prevent these human errors. At first, know your device. Read your instruction manual. This is one of the most important things. Then get familiar with the device you are using. Really have a look how a rope gets inserted and do a functionality test. Always do a functionality test. The functionality test will help you preventing most of the incidents we have been observing. And the second part is, if you switch from one device to another device, even if they look similar, they might not be similar. So really have a look what could happen on that. Think open-minded about it. Search for these errors and share this video, because a reported error helps others to prevent this error. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe on my channel. Please left me some feedback. And if you want to learn more about that, on some of my rope rescue courses or updates, you will learn a lot of stuff more about all these kind of techniques, error modes and risk assessments. Thank you, stay safe and goodbye.